Welcome to the House on the Hill Property Renovation Makeover Spain. Here's a glance of how the property was when I first purchased it. And be prepared, it gets worse before it gets better. If it's your first time watching, remember to watch from video 1 from the playlist and remember to subscribe. I'm back, eventually. I feel so guilty because I haven't shown anything of the property refurbishment in God knows how long. And I bumped into a few people, had a few messages of people saying, what's happened to the house on the hill? What's going on? One, I've just been really busy. I'll make excuses up soon. And two, I haven't had a lot to show yet until now. This is what will be the guest bedroom. It's by no means decorated. It needs painting, lovely bedding, more furniture putting into it. But I'm staying in this room for now. Eventually I'll be upstairs in the large bedroom, but I want to get that painted and everything first before I move there. You'll notice the light above what will be the dining table. I do mention this a bit later on, so here it is now. And I bought the small lights in the kitchen area just to contrast it. I didn't want lots of different types of lampshades fighting for attention. The back wall isn't finished yet, but it's a Limewash effect, and I'm going to show you how I created that masterpiece very shortly. All my little knickknacks, which I do adore. I don't know whether I showed you this in a previous video either, that the step between the kitchen and this area has now been filled with stones and cemented, so a little feature there. It's not quite the perfect shade of grey in the grouting that I wanted for that, but I'm okay with it. The kitchen's still waiting for the shelves. The holes in the ceiling were to insert round lights, but I've asked the builder to come out and fill them in because I want spotlights. So that hole can't be that big. It needs to be filled in with plasterboard again. I think I almost need a degree in how to operate the kitchen appliances, the microwave, the cooker, the hob, the dishwasher. So I've been reading all of the manuals on those. In the video next Sunday, I'm going to be painting some colour into that dining area. So can you guess which colour I will add? I can't believe that they've put the fridge in open in this way. So I've asked the kitchen company to come out and change it to open from facing the kitchen. Sunday morning's a painting morning, but first a coffee and a little snack. You may have seen on the news that the weather and storms in Spain have just been absolutely horrendous. So what better thing to do than just lock myself in the house and get some painting done. Now to prepare the Limewash paint, it comes in powder form. I'm going to add 2 litres of water to half a bag of the paint, and then I add in the pigment. This will add the colour, which in this instance I've chosen a kind of stony colour. Actually, I've just checked the name of the colour and it's called olive grey, which is quite relevant for the part of Spain that I'm in. Genius idea. I'm using a food mixer to mix the paint. Don't you just hate sanding? Now let's see this transformation take place. Okay, let's see how we go. I'll show you what I'm using first, just so you're fully aware of what it is. Limewash paint, and then a really large brush to form what they call clouds. A little bit of sanding first. Now, the good thing about the style that I'm going for, the wabi-sabi style, it's supposed to be about leaving things in their natural state, even if they're broken. So if there's a few chips or scratches on the wall, I'm not going to stress too much about it. Plus, I think the paint will camouflage it quite a lot.
This is really quite scary. I'm told you put it on in clouds, that the sun say. So let's have a go. Do you know what? I think I better put some on the floor first.
The general idea is to do individual clouds and then put additional clouds on top of those to fill in the gaps. Wait till it dries, come back and do exactly the same again for the second coat. So you see in the wall right now with the first coat, 2 sets of clouds, and then I'm now going to show you the finished look with the second coat on too.
I am quite pleased with the result of the Limewash paint. Now, when I watch videos, I've looked at the end result and thought, it doesn't look that much different. But what they say is it gives it depth, and it absolutely does. So, and it doesn't look hugely different to normal paint until I look at the normal paint in this room here in the dining area, and it is massively different. So I think in this area, with having the rustic beams and the Limewash paint to look quite vintage, I think it's all going to work together. I was unsure whether to do the other walls in it. I think I've decided I'm going to do it. So I'm going to do this wall, that wall. So this is the cosy, snug area in a darker colour.
I really didn't want to start in the hallway yet, but I'd mixed quite a lot of this paint, the Limewash paint, and I want to use the same in the hallway. So I decided to continue and just use the paint up.
I just want to come back to you with worktop discussion. So I'm glad I didn't choose them when I chose the kitchen, because I would have gone for a wooden colour. I was going to go for wood, actually, real wood, and it would be too much. So I was thinking of a contrast, and originally I thought I'd go for black, and I thought, no, too harsh. I'm going to go for a beigey grey, like the floor, if I can find the right one. So that might take time. So I'm struggling because I haven't got the hob or the sink. And actually the dishwasher's not connected yet either. I chose these lights. They look better in reality because on camera all you can see is the orange ring, but in reality you see the glass as well. And I chose them because they're a contrast to the huge light that I've got, the ceiling light that's going to be above the dining table, which is going to be super special when you see that. Sockets. Now, I originally chose from the electrician's book old style vintage sockets with a ceramic centre and then a wooden frame. Altogether, the sockets for the property were going to be €2,500 just for the sockets. My lovely 21-year-old nephew Nathan gave me a huge lecture on a ski lift about not spending that much money on sockets. So thanks to a lecturer for 21-year-old who's never owned a property yet, I changed my mind and I got these from Leroy Merlin. It was, I think, €300 in total, so €2,200 less than what I was going to spend, and they do not offend me at all. I'm not even thinking of changing them in the future. Wow. I'm loving it. Now, the best thing I did, which I thought recently might have been the worst thing, is invested €25,000 in underfloor heating and solar panels. Maybe a bit more actually because there's builders' costs as well. I was panicking thinking that's so much money, what if it doesn't work, what if there's a problem? But the guy that's put it in, Dan, Romanian guy living in Priego de Cordoba, he's very, very, very professional and gave me so much confidence that it's going to be fine. It absolutely is. Best investment ever in Spain, because the houses can be really quite cold in winter because there's no central heating. It is a dream. Now the controls for the underfloor heating around the back of the house and in here. Don't ask me to explain it, I think I need him to do that. So many people are going, well, what is it? And I'm like, I don't know what it is, it just works. These are the controls, which are quite self-explanatory. All this going on. Yeah, and the rest is outside. Still need to decorate this patio, it's a bit of a mess. It's a bit of a mess at the top. The downstairs bathroom is here, which hasn't been touched yet. We take you upstairs. So the dressing room has got all of my junk in. It's not kitted out yet. That will be in a while. It's fine, it's usable, it's organised, so I'm happy with that. for the minute. This room, I've just put two chairs in for now, and yeah, I won't have my clothes there long term. The lights are in, and the light switches, so I still need a nice big bed. Let me show, I don't know if I showed you these last time, coat hooks that I got from the market here in Priego de Cordoba. Those chairs were from somebody else's house, Lucy. Thank you, Lucy, for that. And this, I went into a haberdashery store in Priego de Cordoba, and they had the ribbons and things displayed on here. I said, I don't suppose that's for sale. He said, it is actually, yes. So I bought it, 150 euros. I absolutely love it. So it's great for this bedroom. Bathroom. You can see it's not yet painted. I've been testing colours out on the walls. The only regret I have from this room is that I wish I'd put brown grouting in the tiles. I didn't really choose that because I would have chosen brown had they asked, but because there was white used on these ones and there, they've just gone ahead and used the same grouting, and yeah, I wish it was the same colour as the tiles. Never mind, it's not such a big deal. Now let me tell you about the water problem that we've had. Firstly, there was no water pressure because the village supply is lower than this property. That's what you get for getting a good view. Therefore, we've had to put in a water pump, so more money, more money. The water pump pressure is so powerful, which is great if you're having a shower. However, it's not draining away quick enough, so I thought there was a drainage problem, panic stations, but there isn't. It's just this is that powerful, it can't cope with it. I think eventually, I mean it's fine, I just have to put it on a bit lower, but the power is great. I think eventually I'll either have to put a little stone lip around, well, just along this side of the shower, or maybe I'll have to succumb to having what I didn't want and have a glass panel here, which would look nice still, but I was trying to avoid that. I've got used to the white toilet, still need to get the flush. It's not ideal, it would be better the same colour as the bath, but I'm not having sleepless nights over it. Excuse the mess. I'm still organising everything. This was an old animal room. It was accessed from the back before, and this was blocked up, and they used to keep the donkeys and goats in, or whatever animals there were in here. And because it's brand new, it's been plastered. I was away for 2 weeks skiing in France with my niece and nephew, which was a lovely week away, and then days either side in UK. And everything was closed, and humidity started. So this wood, which needs sanding down and polishing up, I would have liked to have thought that had been done before they put it on, but that's going to be left to me to do now, to sand this down, polish it up, and make it look decent. It's horrible at the minute. Anyway, so it's got mouldy. I've wiped a lot of it off, but it did get quite mouldy from the humidity. But never mind, everything's coming together. And you know what I like best about this room? The taps and the shower. I love this, because they look like just the raw plumbing, copper plumbing pipes, which I did originally want, but it was going to be too complicated. But I think this is the best of both worlds, because they're modern, yet they look like the copper pipes. I've also been titivated again. These are the dining chairs that I've had for years and years. I bought these when I lived in England because I wanted a low chair, and at the time I couldn't find anything with a low back. I don't even want to tell you what I paid for each of these. They got sent from Holland, but they were a lot of money. So I'm glad that I'm still using them. They're not staying here, but this is to give me an idea of how this cover will look over the back of the sofa from Laura Ashley, which I also bought in England about 15 years ago. So to see how this will look thrown over the back of the sofa here, because the sofa's white. So that's going to save money. I could buy a new sofa, pay a couple of £1,000 for it, and it might be wrong. So I'm going to use the one that I've already got in my other house, bring it here, throw over it as a very cheap but desirable option. I've just been having a text conversation with my friend Karen, and she said to me, why don't you scrap the mirror idea? Because if you noticed earlier today, I had a different mirror here with like a metal ornate border on it. And she said it's too busy for the basic contemporary look that you've got in the kitchen. There's too much going on. So I said, what do you think about this mirror? She was like, I still think it might be too busy. She said, why don't you get more? Well, at first she suggested just putting a big urn with olive branches, which is good, but there's a window here that is shining light down to this direction, and I want a mirror to reflect that light. She's only looking at it on video and I'm looking at it in real life. So I said, I do want a mirror, but I understand that you want to break the harsh lines. So the compromise is, she suggested more mirror, but with a very subtle frame to keep it minimalistic, with a shelf with maybe some kind of plant with olive branches hanging out of it and reflecting in the mirror, to get two for the price of one.
Now, just to finish off, showing you how the solar panels fit really nicely on the roof, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Don't forget to subscribe.